The unremembering hours repeat old acts. He is elaborating on that. Our dead past around our future's ankles clings and drags back the new nature's glorious stride. Or from its buried corpse, old ghosts arise. Yes, they jump up suddenly, see. Old ghosts arise, old thoughts, old longings, dead passions live again, recur in sleep. So this is what we dream sometimes. Nightmare, they come up and suddenly spring up. Recur in sleep or move the waking man to words that force the barrier of the lips. So he has to speak out. He cannot stop. The deeds that suddenly start and overleap. He is head of reason and his guardian will. The old self lurks in new self we are. Yes, behind us that old self is still there, the subconscious is there. It has not disappeared. We have to purify eventually. If you want later on a full transformation, what about the subconscious stuff which you are keeping within you? That has to be purified, that has to be emptied out. And that is exactly what Savitri is going to do in the sixth canto of this book, Nirvana. She has to blow out all that is which is there in her, Nirvana, throughout, clear off completely. Then only the divine can annul thyself wholly, that only God be. Annul yourself fully. An old self lurks in the new self we are. Hardly we escape from what we once had been. You can't help it. It's there, you see. In the dim gleam of habits passages, in the subconscious darkling corridors, all things are carried by the porter nerve. So the porter, they are carrying the load of the past. And nothing checked by the subterranean mind, unstudied by the guardians at the door. So he's giving a beautiful image of the passage of the and passage by a blind instinctive memory. The old gang dismissed, old cancelled passports served. So that gang is there. It is one of the companies or the criminals or whatever it is. They are there, they have been dismissed, but they still come there. Nothing is wholly dead that once had lived. That is the great mystery. We can't escape the burden of nature which we have on us always. It cannot be. The only way is first discover your soul. Let the soul then try to do something about the past. Purify, clear. Nothing is wholly dead that once had lived in dim tunnels of the world's being, and in ours, the old rejected nature still survives. So we dump all that thing, all those ugly things, whatever we do, we dump them back into these cellars and they come up again. The corpses of his slain thoughts raise their heads, and vast minds nocturnal walks in sleep. His stifled impulses breathe and move and rise. All keeps a phantom immortality. So that's the phantom immortality. Like a ghost, it persists, life after life. You can't escape that. To bring the divine light there, first you have to open out only through the process of the soul discovery. Then only you can work on nature. I mean, nature cannot be altered, cannot be transformed unless you work through the agency of your soul. It is the soul who can really receive directly the divine light and force and work upon nature. Irresistible are nature's sequences. The seeds of sins renounce proud from its soil. The evil cast from our heart, once more we fail. So, if you have got difficulties in life today, Don't think that they will disappear tomorrow unless you solve them today. All the difficulties which are there in your present life, they have to be solved in the present life. Don't think that they'll get automatically solved in the next life. They'll be carried forward. They'll be carried forward. So this is the occasion, this is the opportunity given to you. Work upon yourself and solve the difficulties yourself at this point. Don't think that it will happen. We'll be able to, we'll be free of them in the next birth. They will again come up, again come up, again come up. They will repeat. So people say that, look, I am in terrible difficulty and all that, and they commit suicide. They are not really solving the problem. If at all, they are pushing their effort 10 lives behind. They are putting the life 10 lives behind. They have to work out all that thing. There is no escape at all. And the only way of working out is first find out your soul, your psychic being, and then work. Irresistible are nature's sequences, irresistible. You can't stop them. They are there. Cause and effect, that chain is there, inevitable chain. The seeds of sins announced sprout from its soil, the evil cast from our hearts. Once more we feel our dead selves come to slay our living soul. They will spring up again and again and again. You have to deal with them one day or the other. You can't help it. A portion of us lives in the present time. A secret mass and dim inconscience grows. Out of the inconscient and subliminal reason, we live in mind's uncertain light and strive to know and master a dubious world whose purpose and meaning are hidden from our sight. Well, he has clearly stated all that is required here. A portion of us lives in the present time, but the past is there. A secret mass in dim inconscient groups. So what is there? That is still grouping behind, you see. Out of the inconscient and subliminal reason, we live in mind's uncertain life. In other words, all that has happened so far in the cosmic dream which Savitri is seeing, that she has gone through the subconscious, she has come to the subliminal, and she finds now that she is in the region of mind, uncertain mind. She is seeing the entire sequence. She has seen the cosmic past. She is seeing the subliminal. Behind that now, she is looking into the mind. What has come out is the mind, but the mind is with an uncertain light. And strive to know and master a dubious world whose purpose and meaning are hidden from our sight. Above us dwells a superconscious God, hidden in the mystery of His own light. So there is a little hope now. Yes, uncertain mind is there, but then above mind there are other beautiful things, greater things also. Dwells a superconscious God. Yes, you can aspire to be there. We can take His help, He can guide us. Hidden in the mystery of His own light, around us is a vast of ignorance, lit by the uncertain ray of human mind. Below us sleeps the inconscient, dark and mute. So we are in the middle. Above mind is the superconscious. Below is the inconscient, dark and mute. And we are moving in the vast of ignorance. That is our mind, our uncertain human mind. So Savitri is saying now the entire cosmic mass, now she has come to the stage of the uncertain mind. How mind has arrived and how mind is doing things. So this is the paragraph. But this is only matter's first view. So that is the consolation the poet is giving to us. Don't get scared. There is hope for us. A scale and series in the ignorance. It does not go on and on and on, ignorance. It's only a small arc, small portion of the entire chain. This is not all we are, all our world. So the yogi is really giving great consolation to us, you see. Our greater self of knowledge waits for us. So we have got presently uncertain mind, but then there is a greater self of knowledge also waiting for us. That is what Savitri, see, that is the stream of consciousness through which Savitri is passing. The dream disclosed to us the cosmic past. She has come through all that thing, subconscious mind. She has come to the point of mind now. And she is now seeing the possibility. Our greater self of knowledge waits for a supreme light in the truth conscious vast, Brahat Satyam, truth conscious, Brahat Satyam, vast, Brahat Satyam. It is there, you can see. It sees from summits beyond thinking mind. It moves in a splendid air of transcending life. It shall descend, that Brahat Satyam, it shall descend and make earth's life divine. This was in 1947. Now it shall descend and it shall descend has become it has descended in 1956. It has become. So within 9 years it has happened. So Shivandu has to revise his Savitri. See? See? Yeah. It shall descend and make us life divine. Well, that is a promise. Truth made the world, not a blind nature force. So that is what would answer to every doubter, whether he is agnostic, whether he is Mayavadin, Shankara, or Buddha, or whosoever. Yes, it is truth. It is Satyam who has created this world. How can anything false arise in the creation of truth? For here not our large diviner heights, our summits in the subconscious blaze are glorious with the very face of God. There is our aspect of eternity. What beautiful promise, you see. There is our aspect of eternity. There is the figure of the God we are. His young, unaging look on deathless things. His joy in our escape from death and time. That is what he would joy. Yes, get out of the death and time. And that is his joy. His immortality and light and be. What a beautiful promise this one. For here not our larger diviner heights. Okay, we don't have those things. But then our summits in the superconscious blaze are glorious. In the blaze of superconscious, they're glorious. With the very face of God, there is our aspect of eternity. There is the figure of the God we are. So that is the stream of consciousness through which Savitri is moving. Yes, this is the future. It's not going to happen. She has seen the past. She is seeing she has seen the past in the form of subconscious creation and all that thing. She is seeing the present as the uncertain mind. Future, that there is an aspect of eternity in us. That's what she is seeing, the future. There is our aspect of eternity. There is the figure of the God we are. His young, unaging look on deathless things. He is always young. The eternal age of the gods is 16. The gods always have the age of 16. They are ageless, you see. There is our aspect of eternity. There is the figure of the God we are. His young, unaging look on deathless things. His joy in our escape from death and time. His immortality and light and bliss, immortality, amrutam, light, prakasha, bliss, ananda. So, amruta, prakasha, ananda. That is the aspect of life for us available.